Hey everyone, welcome in. Thank you for joining me. My name is Marlene and I am with A Room to Bloom. So, yesterday I was just kind of moving some things around at home and decided to tap into a book that I have, and I have used it a couple of times for messages. And when I looked it up, I thought, yeah, there's a message to share, and of course, more than one. And so, this is a book on Chihuly, who is a glass artist, and his works are amazing. And when I first ran into this book, I just knew that, like, there's so many images in here that can heal with color. But when I asked to be shown a message yesterday, I'm going to show you what came up. It says The Blue Heron, and it is from 2003. It is, the work is in the Franklin Park Conservatory in Columbus, Ohio. And the page number is 226. Okay, I want to hold this. First of all, I just want you to see these two colors. So the first thing that came to me, was this glass, and this is representative of the blue heron. But the second thing is the blue and green. Okay, green is representative of Archangel Raphael, the angel of healing, and blue is the color of Archangel Michael. And oftentimes these two angels are working together. And so you may be having experiences with healing and protection going on in your life at the same time. So when I looked at this, I didn't count them. I think I'm going to just let that be. But when I looked up the spiritual meaning of the blue heron, under AI, under Google, what it says is the blue heron is, in its spiritual context, often symbolizes wisdom, patience, self-reliance, and a connection to the divine. Its presence can be interpreted as a messenger carrying guidance on self-discovery, navigating life's challenges, or finding inner peace. Under wisdom and intuition, herons are known for their keen observation skills and their ability to patiently wait for the opportune moment to strike. This is often interpreted as a reminder to trust your intuition and to be mindful of your surroundings. And it's kind of interesting because when you look at this image, one of the things is they sort of can look like a cobra. You know how the neck gets, or the head part gets bigger. And so it was a little reminiscent of that as well. So it's kind of interesting that came up. Their ability to stand still and observe and then strike with precision is seen as a metaphor for developing inner wisdom and acting with clarity. Okay, so again, it makes sense that Archangel Michael would be here in protection of you as you are moving through a healing phase. Self-reliance and independence. The heron's long legs and ability to navigate both water and air, self-reliance, and the capacity to adapt to different situations. So when we think about air and water elements, the water is our emotions. So navigating our emotions, and then the air represents our thoughts. So knowing how to navigate one's emotions and thoughts, right? So understanding them, becoming an observer of them. If you recognize you're feeling deeply, do you step back and observe the emotion? Do you allow yourself to feel the emotion, to let it move through you? Because that's what energy is. Emotions are energy in motion, okay? So it encourages individuals to trust their own instincts and abilities to find their own path rather than relying solely on others. So the spiritual messenger and connection, it says many cultures view the heron as a spiritual messenger connecting the earthly and the divine realms. Its appearance may be interpreted as a sign of guidance, a reminder of one's spiritual path, or a connection to loved ones who have passed on. Now, I am just going to mention this. I have released this just touched on this briefly in a couple of previous videos. So whether you caught that or not, I just lost someone very close to me. So, with this coming up, right? It's that reminder. So like if you're seeing a blue heron, it also is particular, let's see, it reflects on the importance of patience in life, and particularly in navigating challenging situations or grief, right? So being patient with yourself as you move through grief. It reminds individuals to trust the process and to allow healing and growth to unfold naturally. It also speaks of transformation and new beginnings. Herons are associated with water, which symbolizes flow, renewal, and new beginnings. Their presence may signify an opportunity for transformation, letting go of the past, and embracing a new chapter in life. So I thought that was kind of neat to have opened that, and then to share that. There's one other thing that I want to mention out of all the forestry here. One of the things that so there's this lamp, and the lights, they could be on, but you can't really see them because it's daylight. But this type of a lamp post, if you can see this, this one. So this has 4 bulbs. You can't see all 4 that are at a lower level. And what this reminds me of is angels at each side, right? So the north, the south, the east, and the west. And then it's like the light of God above them yet. You know what I mean? And so whenever I see that type of a light post, that is what I think of. So there's a lot of spirituality, a lot of healing whenever we get out in nature. So if you are grieving, there may be others who are watching you grieve or go through a process. But the green speaks of our heart chakra, right? So there could have been something that has affected your heart. Of course, grieving is going to be one of those things, right? So a lot going on in what can seem sort of simple, but there's a lot going on there. So I'm going to set this book down because my desk is kind of full, and I'm being guided to go start with a deck here called The Power of Love. This is by James Van Praagh. Let's see what message Spirit wants to bring forth to help you on your journey today. What would you like to bring forth for the collective? Okay, loyalty. And it's the same 2 colors, green and blue. Okay, loyalty. Your reliability demonstrates your loving sense of devotion and consistency of being. So being reliable shows loyalty, right? Okay, what else do we have? Freedom. Okay, you are releasing any self-imposed restrictions or perceived limitations through the loving energy of openness. I'm going to share something I experienced today regarding this. So I asked this person who had passed away to just show me what they wanted me to see. And I turned around and there was a bird's cage with the door open, which is representative of freedom, right? no longer in what one might consider a cage, or no longer being made to feel smaller, being allowed to, if you will, spread their wings and fly. And one of the other things that I noticed about the cage is that the bottom rack in the bird cage, part of it had like come off its little ledge and sort of fallen in. So there was, the words that came to me, it's like the bottom fell out of something, right? The bottom fell out of a situation, whatever that was, and this person is free, right? And when we step into that, we're releasing any self-imposed restrictions or perceived limitations through the loving energy of openness. Okay, so this card is also, it is the opposite of the Eight of Swords card in the tarot deck. Eight of Swords is where somebody puts themselves in what is like a self-imposed prison, and in their thoughts, right? They're in their thoughts. And so this is the opposite of that, saying I'm free. Oftentimes that card is depicted with someone who has a blindfold on, swords kind of around them, but not all the way around them, and they could actually just walk right through them and take the blindfold off. That's why it's self-imposed. So when somebody is getting caught up in their thoughts, that's where we're really being asked to step back into our heart space and into soul alignment, and saying what aligns with us at this point in time. And it's self-recognizing what is causing one discord. You know, imagine you're just kind of doing you, and you're doing your thing, and you're feeling good, and then something comes along and it causes you discord, right? So it's remembering how you were feeling in soul alignment, right? And it's about getting back to that. And sure, of course, we're all going to have these challenges and tests that will pull us out. Or do we hold our own, right? Can we become the eye of the storm, if you will? Which is interesting, because just a few minutes ago, I ran across something with a live tornado, and I watched it for a few minutes, which is kind of unusual because I wouldn't normally do that. But now I can kind of see how this is coming together. Being in the eye of the storm is very calm. There could be a lot of chaos going on around someone, but it's very serene at the inside, right? Okay, the next one is the past. Through the power of love, you release any stagnant energies or energy in order to transform your heart space, right? So maybe there is something from the past that had put you up into your head, right, headspace, into your thoughts, right? And so now it's saying, now that you, through that power of love, you release that stagnant situation or energy in order to transform back into your heart space, transform your heart space. So if your heart also was feeling blocked or hardened or anything like that, right? This is saying you're seeing that some things in the past now, you're just letting it go and allowing for healing to take place, right? The next one is ownership. You acknowledge your misdeeds and accomplishments alike, and you learn to love them all as lessons, right? So again, we are spirits that are having a human experience, okay? We are going to have what one might consider missteps, or in this card, misdeeds, where we can be really hard on ourselves based on things that we either said, did, or didn't do, or didn't say, right? And whatever that is, but we learn, in time, we really learn to love them all and understand that they were lessons for the evolution of our soul, right? We are here for soul lessons. We take ownership of those. Okay, what else? We have cooperation. In your quest to manifest the energy of love, you realize that every person and experience has value. So when we start to look at whatever a scenario was or a situation, and we ask ourselves, what have I learned, or what have we learned from this situation, not about other people. What have we learned about ourselves from a particular situation? So, and also speaking words of life over yourself, right? These could be words like, I realize I'm stronger than I thought I was. I realize that I'm more patient. I have it within me to slow down when maybe I wasn't before, right? So cooperating with others. Okay, we're going to take some cards here from a deck called Magic of the Unicorns. Actually, I'm going to start with a different deck called Find Your Light. So this message is, it's for anyone. We can all be feeling like our light is on, and then we have experiences that where we dim our own light, we turn it down for whatever reason, right? And this is saying find your light and turn that light on again, or turn up the dimmer switch, if you will. So I'm going to take the cards and then I'm going to use the book. They're just like a little paragraph notes on these, but I haven't used this deck in quite some time, so let's see what comes up. The first one is I am destined. So we have a gal writing on a bird, and it falls under loyalty. So I am destined. Hold on, let's keep going. Under freedom, we have I am royalty, which is really interesting because the card to the upper left of that was loyalty, right? So royalty, I am royalty. Got purple, the color purple in there under freedom. Under the past, we have I am gifted. Through the power of love, you release any stagnant situations or energy in order to transform your heart space. So using your gifts will help you to transform your heart space, and whatever it is that you're creating or doing will actually help others as well. Under ownership, it says I feel desired, because it says you acknowledge your misdeeds and your accomplishments alike, and you learn to love them as all as lessons. It says I feel desired. This is a mermaid here, okay? And under cooperation, we have I am cherished, which is interesting because, you know, it takes two to cooperate, right? Two people. In your quest to manifest the energy of love, you realize that every person and experience has value. I am cherished. So here we have a couple. Okay, so let's go to this one, I am destined. So there are 3 sections of this book. I kind of want to touch on that. I am is represented by the fairies. I feel is represented by the mermaids, and what I do is represented by the angels. So in here we have 4 of the fairy cards. I am destined, I am royalty, I am gifted, and I am cherished. And then we have the 1 mermaid card of I feel. Okay. So let's see, I am destined. I will choose the destiny set before me as a light upon the hilltop. I will play my song of hope, and my soul will sing. I will overcome the obstacles to reach eternity through flight. Okay, and it's interesting, again, that falls under loyalty. So being determined, your reliability demonstrates your loving sense of devotion and consistency of being. I am destined. Okay, the next one under I am royalty, which falls again under freedom. I watch the dawn with wild awe, resting in the truth that was created for me to dwell in, to care for, and to rule over. I am a royal heir to the king and to his kingdom. And then we have I am gifted. Today I give praise for the gifts, simple and big, that I have been given. I am thankful there is no other like me. I alone was created to do what I alone can do. I make an impact in this world through all that I give to it, right? So whatever has become stagnant in the past, it is through the power of love that situations transform your heart space, right? So I think this your talents are going to transform your heart space. And I say I think, but that's what I'm feeling. Okay, I'm just going to go to I'm cherished. I'm jumping over one here, but I'm in this section here. In a quiet moment, I will breathe in nature as I witness dancing light from a cloud. As I listen to the buzzing of insects and the music of wind through the trees, I remind myself that this symphony is a gift. It whispers how cherished I am by the Creator and how I was created to cherish back, which is interesting again because it falls under cooperation. And then the last one is I feel desired with this mermaid under ownership. It says, my heart has been rescued and swept up in eternal love. My spirit is desired, needed, and shared with the one I was created for. Our love is everlasting and pure. Okay, we're going to just go ahead and go on to the next deck, which is the magic of the unicorns. This is an interesting combination that I grabbed tonight. I don't know, I just thought I would do something different. And I have never used this combination of cards. Every time I take cards out, it's always a different combination. So let's see what comes up. What do you have here under loyalty? And I am destined. Look for the signs. Okay, so we have unicorns, Pegasus, a little, oh, it's so cute. A little unicorn. The number 33 on something. 33 is a master healer number. It says, again, I am destined, but 33 is a master healer number. Pay attention and expect an answer. So we have a Pegasus in the clouds. We have a dove flying, a Pegasus watching over this little rainbow, like this unicorn here, right? And the rainbow in the background. Signs are being sent to you. Watch for them about your destiny. Okay. Under I am royalty and freedom, what do you have? We have uncored relationships. Let go now. Interesting because of that word freedom, right? Forgiveness is freedom. Okay. So it's also, because that next card is past, after freedom. So free from any past things that did not serve you or the highest and best. It's about taking ownership of those. I uncord those relationships and I let them go. Forgiveness is freedom. Okay, so it's interesting that falls under the freedom card. Okay, what do we have under past and I am gifted? We have the violet flame, an owl in a tree, the squirrel in a tree, a unicorn with purple light kind of coming off of its mane and the horn. It says, invoke the cosmic diamond violet flame, transmute all that is not love, right? Again, getting back into the heart space. And so we have all that purple with the violet flame card, and then all that purple in this card about being gifted, right? So letting something go from the past that is not love. Okay, what else do we have? Under ownership and I feel desired, we have open your heart. Love yourself and dare to be vulnerable. Which is really interesting because like in this card here, she's talking about being connected, like, right, with the divine. Open your heart and be vulnerable. So there was one that we were talking about, which was if you felt like you had a blocked heart. That was what I was talking about from the book, right? Yeah, all that green in the book. If you felt like your heart was blocked, open your heart and dare to be vulnerable. Okay, the next one under cooperation and I am cherished, we have enlightenment. The number is 43. It says, look from the highest perspective, see the divine in everyone, right? Enlightenment. Which is really interesting. See the divine in everyone. It falls under this cooperation, right? And also under this card with the couple here, I am cherished. It's really just calling us to recognize we are all connected through God. All right, I'm going to go into one more deck. I was going to maybe do another reading, but I don't think that it goes hand in hand with this reading. So we're going to let that be. This deck is called the Crystal Grid Oracle. Let's see what comes up that would be helpful on your journey. Gratitude. So again, the crystal grid. Grossularite is the stone here, or the crystal. Which, again, the first card was loyalty, so we have that green and blue again, okay? Look for the signs. Gratitude, being called to stay in gratitude. Okay, one fell out here. Channeling, yeah. Freedom, I am royalty, uncord relationships, and then we have the word channeling. Black phantom quartz. Just holding that for a minute. Okay. What else do we have? Under the past, we have communication. Chalconite, which is interesting because the blue speaks of our throat chakra. So something from the past, communication. Through the power of love, you release any stagnant situations or energy to transform your heart space. And communication is a big part of this, okay? The number on that card is 3. Also, it speaks of like creativity. I think of mind, body, spirit, right? Okay, what else do we have here? Under ownership, and then the mermaid, we have inner divinity. It's very pretty grid, isn't it? Inner divinity, open your heart. And then under this last one where we have cooperation and enlightenment, what do you have? We have flow. Oh, Caribbean calcite. Yeah, so like beautiful water, right? Which is, look, it's the color of the top I'm wearing today, right? The same kind of blue-green color. So that stone is coming up there, Caribbean calcite. So let's touch into the book on this. 56 is gratitude. I'm not going to read these because they're kind of long, and it's the end of the reading. I might have read a couple if we were more into the beginning, but I think we're just going to let it be for now. And that is the message for today. So I hope this was helpful for you. Take care.